Alright, what's up folks? This is Herm Says Play to Win, back with another War Thunder Ground Forces realistic battle replay. This time in the newly acquired T-34-100, I picked up this premium vehicle during the recent 50% off sale. Every year during the War Thunder launch anniversary, they run the sale where it's half off premium vehicles and half off of premium time. So I just stay patient, wait for the sale to come around every year to make my purchases. Just as a matter of principle, I refuse to pay full price for these premium vehicles. Now this video is going to be more of an opinion piece on the T-34-100. First of all, the T-34-100, first of all, it's essentially a T-34 chassis mounted with a 100mm gun that has good enough ballistic performance that you can now effectively snipe across long distances. We're talking about easily 1 kilometer plus and have a good probability of killing your target. Now that simply wasn't possible with the T-34-85, simply because the gun wasn't punchy enough. Now I would argue for the T-34-100 this gun is too punchy for this battle rating. It's battle rating 6.3. I think it's underrated. It's a glass cannon, certainly, because it's got the T-34 hull, and so even Stug's Panzer IIIs, even if you somehow run into those, if they know where to shoot you in the hull, they can be a threat. But I would argue that battle rating 6.3 is actually underrating the capabilities of this tank. The 100mm gun has really good armor penetration values. It's a big shell, and so when it does penetrate armor, it does a lot of damage inside of the target. There's definitely strong potential to one-shot targets using this gun. For example, this Tiger right here. Now, because this is battle rated at 6.3, oftentimes in practice, this vehicle will draw German teams that are predominantly Tiger 1s and Panthers. And I think this vehicle, the T-34-100, is more than a match for those opponents, just because of the killing power of this gun. Now you need to be careful about how you maneuver this vehicle and how you position the vehicle so that the weak hull armor is not exposed unnecessarily. But if you can manage that, you're going to be able to punch above your weight in this vehicle. Okay, so here's a Panther. Now the Panther is a very good medium tank. But the killing power of the 75mm L70 and the Panther just pales in comparison to the firepower in this T-34-100. Okay, so this match, a lot of Tigers here. I have to say, these opponents that I was up against, they're not the best players ever. I mean, they're not they're not really paying attention to what's going on around them very well. They're putting themselves in bad tactical positions where they're getting shot and they're not even looking in the right direction. So yeah, so that is true, but then again, that's kind of typical for War Thunder. Yeah, you just have a lot of players that, frankly, would be more effective in arcade battles. It's because they need, I mean, they really could benefit from the help of having the name tags for target acquisition, but okay, anyway. I'm not going to tell people how they play their games. I'm just saying, just as an observation, that that a lot of players in realistic and simulator battles, they don't have the best situational awareness. Okay, so here's another tiger up here, engaged with the friendly T-3485. Wait for this tiger to turn a little bit, and I put in a big hit that knocks out its cannon breech. So now this tiger's more or less dead. Okay. Now, as I said, this vehicle is at battle rating 6.3. I think that is very much underrated. I think this vehicle should at least be 6.7, and arguably even as high as 7.0. Because if you think about it, well, what's battle rank 6.7 in the Soviet lineup? So you have the IS-2, model 1944. So I think that's actually reasonable. You also have the Su-100 and Su-122P tank destroyers at battle rank 6.7. Now, in any meaningful sense, those tank destroyers are not more survivable than this T-34-100, simply because any opponents that those TDs come up against can kill them at normal combat ranges, even from the front. So they're not particularly survivable. And their guns are not, really on balance, not that much more capable, if at all more capable, than this gun in the T-34. And on top of that, those two TDs, they don't have fully traversing turrets. So I would argue that the T-34-100 has effectively similar survivability, similar firepower, and has more flexibility because it has a turret than those tank destroyers that are actually at battle rating 6.7. Now, the other thing to point out is that the battle rating system previous to introduction of this tank in the range of, say, 5.7 to 6.7, I think was actually reasonably well balanced, in that vehicles within that range, they're reasonably lethal, similarly lethal, compared to their competitors. Whereas I think this balance has really been disrupted with the introduction of this particular premium vehicle. So I think this vehicle, the bottom line is that it's overpowered, and I think more and more, just my own impression is that I'm seeing lineups that are really T-34-100 heavy, like many of the players drive that vehicle into battle simply because it is really a good vehicle, and it's really fun to play. So I hope that Gaijin actually does something about this situation, because making one particular vehicle so overpowered is really not good for the game long term. I mean, this is really boils down to a pay-to-win situation, and that's clearly not a good thing to have in a game like this. I mean, I understand Gaijin is in the business to make money, but this particular tank, as it is right now at BR 6.3, is clearly overpowered, and it's real turnoff for people that have to go up against it. So I hope they either increase the battle rating for this, or they nerf the tank somehow to bring it back more into line with its competitors. So, yep, that's kind of my spiel on the T-34-100. Yeah, so if you've watched up to this point and listened, thank you very much. And, yeah, I'd be interested to read any feedback in the comments, agree or disagree. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next video.